The original was a bit of a cult classic, but the remake, well, isn't really getting much traction. Why did Solium Infernum fail to find success? Hello there, strategy gamers, and welcome to my humble channel where I talk all things strategy games. Today, I'd like to talk a bit about Solium Infernum, a game I've been eagerly anticipating, a game that will finally make the cult classic a global phenomenon, a game that, well, failed to do any of that. Quite miserably, I might add. Now, I know what you're thinking. What, Solium Infernum, a cult classic? Yes, maybe I can't define it as ever being a hit, but the original got pretty good reviews from the press. I blame it on Rock Paper Shotgun primarily. But in actual fact, the original game by Vic Davies, a board game designer, never really sold much, at least in comparison with modern video games. Well received, but quite frankly, just a blip in the video games chart. The game was good because it was pretty original, being set in hell and the whole way you manipulated the system to your advantage, either by warfare, subterfuge, or scheming. League of Geeks' new Solium Infernum is very much a faithful recreation of the original game, at least most of it from what I can remember. I can't really compare it with the original since my copy of that Flash game is probably sitting in some landfill somewhere in an old husk of a PC. But anyway, from what I remember, it's pretty much the same game. This is a very board game-like video game. You've got different combat phases, limited number of things you could do in a turn. In the beginning, you're limited to just 2 action, which can then be increased to 3 later on in the game. Now, I didn't like the original Solium Infernum, and having played the new one, I think I know why it's not a mainstream hit or a success. I don't want to talk much about the marketing behind the game. They did have a few YouTubers play the game and the game's got pretty good reviews, just like the original. Which, by the way, a small gripe here, why were so many of these big YouTubers saying this is like Civ in hell? No, it's not like Civ at all. The only thing they have in common are that they have hexes and are turn-based. I think that could have misled people into thinking it was a different type of game. This is not a 4X, at least not your typical 4X. But despite having a new coat of paint, new Solium Infernum is a rather dense game with a tutorial that just skims the surface. And the single player is basically different map. You play the game, the same mechanics over and over. I do feel though like certain mechanics such as currency for instance were unnecessarily complex. Like the original, they brought along the multiple type of tribute, currency. So to pay for something you want to purchase from the infernal bazaar, a marketplace where aspiring demonic princes and princesses went to haggle for stuff, you'll have to get specific ones to get what you want. I felt they could have just simplified this and focused on the other mechanics. I do like the combat though, which feel like a simple card battle with a range, melee, and a magic phase. Pretty easy to understand how the battles will go and stuff. Really cool, I like that part. But one major problem is that for new players, you are left rather directionless after the tutorial. You see, unlike say Crusader Kings 3, which keeps you in the loop at all times on what you could do at any moment, Solium Infernum kinda hides all your options in menu screens, which you constantly need to check when you've got enough prestige points, which is how you win the game. And also what you use to do a multitude of things as well as leveling up your powers and demon. It's not a great experience for new players. Deep down though, I really wanted Solium Infernum to do well. But I knew it was never going to be a hit. Even though those that play the game may have positive views about it, but this game struggles in growing its player base. That I think is okay though, because there's bound to be some really niche games that some people get into, but not the vast majority of gamers or strategy gamers. But you know who this is not okay for? Well, certainly the devs League of Geeks, who have been struggling with finances and had to lay off half of their team last year. This is a team that made that charming turn-based strategy game Armello, which is like animal backstabbery and combat, often compared to a digital board game. The team certainly has talent and a passion for board games. But passion alone isn't enough. They've had to put on hold Jumplight Odyssey, or maybe it's been cancelled completely, which is actually a sim, which is a shame because that one was more like a game instead of a board game and could have had more mass appeal. But the future of the studio, and also I must think updates for Solium Infernum remain uncertain. And I really wish them well. I really do wish them well that they are able to get their footing and get out of this. Here's my brutally honest opinion. I just don't think digital adaptations of board games or board game inspired strategy games that stick very close to the board game formula are all that popular or will be able to find mass appeal. Also, here's another fact: good reviews don't guarantee success, go figure, or predict a game would be a success. That was League of Geeks' mistake. And that's where we end this story, with the fate of League of Geeks hanging in the balance. So, have you played Solium Infernum or heard about the game? What did you think of it? Did it interest you? Tell me in the comments. By the way, quick thanks to everyone who watched my videos. You guys are great, and thanks for the likes and subs. You guys are champs. Well done, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, by the way, I've been down with the flu recently, and also been busy with work, so I did take like a weeks off from videos, but I'm currently playing a game that, well, hopefully I'll do a video next about it. I was kind of a negative Nancy about this game, yes, Millennia, which I kinda was doubtful after the demo. I kinda decided to give it a shot, and yeah, that's most likely going to be my next video, so stay tuned for that. If you want to know what I thought about the demo, you can watch that video of my early impressions like over here. Thanks for watching. Have a great week, guys. Bye bye.